Hi, welcome back to Game Set and Chat. It is day 14 of the Australian Open. It was the women's finals today, and I'm Yoni.
And I'm Robert, and before we even get to the women's final, which was dramatic on its own, let's talk about the second half of the day yesterday, because we put out a pod after the sensational Alcaraz Zverev match. And as we said in yesterday's pod, we thought, okay, probably Sinner's going to beat Djokovic. But we put out the pod when it was 2-2 Novak and Yannick, and it was the most incredible final set.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. And it went 3-1, then 4-2. And from there, I thought Djokovic done it. He's done it. He beat the world number 2. Oh my God.
It was an amazing fifth set, and we were all literally on the edge of our seat because there were a couple of games where, first of all, Djokovic is down 40, love 40 on his serve, and we're like, the whole thing's collapsing. Obviously, we were rooting for Novak for obvious reasons. And then there were other games where Novak was 40 love up, and we're like, should be sailing home. And suddenly Yannick's back in it, and we've got a juice advantage situation. It was
Yeah.
absolutely we were screaming at every single point, cheering on, and it was just an incredible day's tennis. 9 hours of just constant watching, and Sinner played okay. He played really well, but Novak somehow pulled out a performance that is just true of an absolute GOAT. He was really taking away a lot of Sinner's game and not giving him any angles. He was taking him to the sides, and then he was taking back down the center of the court so that Novak could really get his points, because otherwise Novak would have to run too much, I think. And we saw some incredible Novak-like drop shots, touches back that just dropped at the net. There was one shot where Novak should have just smashed it across the court, and he chose the wrong side, and somehow Sinner got it back across. It was a match
And it was
point.
match point.
It was a match point.
Oh my God. He had 2 match points and he lost those 2. Then I was suddenly deuce. And then we were like, oh no, it's going to go to a tie break and Yannick Sinner's going to win it. And then it went to advantage Djokovic, and then he just won it. And we were both in shock.
He did incredibly well. Obviously, Sinner was off court pretty quickly. He just wanted to get out of there. But Novak then did his press conference, and I mean, in true Novak style, he's just got the eloquence. He comes out with the right lines. He gives a brilliant post-match interview. And I loved what he said to Jim Courier in the interview. Do you remember what he said? When Jim Courier said that I think it was the US Open, that Novak said, it's going to be hard for me to get to a final or go 5 sets with any of these 2 guys now. It's going to be difficult, he said.
Yeah.
And Novak basically said, I did say that, but I didn't say it was impossible.
He's the GOAT. That's why they call him the GOAT. Amazing. Obviously, Yannick Sinner thought he was going to go out there and beat him easily, 3-0, 3 love in sets. And it didn't happen. It was crazy up there. And the points, every single point was amazing.
The crowd were going absolutely nuts for both of them. And they took alternate sets. First of all, you saw Sinner win the first set. We all thought, okay, he's probably going to take this. And then Novak comes back. Then Sinner strikes back. Then Novak strikes back. And then it takes us obviously to that 5th set. But it'll be interesting to see how Novak recovers. He doesn't have a full 48 hours until the final. He's playing someone who is, 15, 16 years younger than him. The number 1 in the world. And it'll be a final to absolutely savor and hopefully remember. We're hoping for a crackerjack. And from my point of view, I want that TV moment. I want Novak to do it. I want him to get to 25. He's already got 24. He's already the GOAT on the men's side. But Margaret Court Australian actually, she also has 24. And this will cement him as the all-time on both sides absolute GOAT if he gets to 25.
Yeah, but obviously in the past 5 Grand Slams, he's gotten to a semi-final. So he's probably got like a few more seasons until he retires.
But on the basis of how he's playing at the moment, he's showing absolutely no let up of not being able to get to a semi. It's going to be a question as to whether he can get to other finals. He's only concentrating really on the Grand Slams, he said, in these final year or 2 years that he's going to be on the tour. It's just so exciting. I mean, I just had the best day yesterday, and we were like trying to rush to get the pod out, and it was just absolutely sensational tennis.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Like the whole weekend, I was like,
We spent the whole day talking about it. Now, before we talk about the women's final, let's just tee ourselves up to think about the Carlos Novak final that'll take place tomorrow. It's going to be a packed Rod Laver court. It's going to be hopefully a blockbuster. A lot is going to be determined in those early 1 or 2 sets. If Carlos gets an early set win and maybe even a second set, then it's probably curtains, you would think, for Novak. But Novak, I've noticed, sometimes takes a while to get in. He might lose the first set, but come back and take a second set. So my heart says Novak. I've said that throughout this whole 2 weeks. My head says probably it's going to be the Spanish star, but let's see what happens.
yeah. But my prediction is probably like a 4 setter. Probably like for me, I think Djokovic is gonna win, and a lot of people are saying like this is gonna be one of the greatest match in history. It's gonna come on Sunday, and I just can't wait for it. It's gonna be massive.
That Novak has got that one thing that maybe Carlos doesn't have, which is that Novak may never be in this position ever again. And this is maybe his final opportunity. And when you have that fight in you, sometimes it might be the difference, that extra few percent difference that takes him over the line. We'll see. We'll see.
And
It's an amazing matchup.
also, Djokovic has more mentality than Carlos. Like he's been playing way more years than Carlos Alcaraz, and he's played against like Roger Federer and Nadal, all these great legends, and he knows how to lose to amazing people and to beat them.
That you can see how much it means not only to Novak but also his coaching team. One of his trainers in the box, who's been with him for years, just broke down in tears when Novak won yesterday, and you can see this means
Yeah, like
everything to them.
his practice partner.
After all these years, after all the trophies, after all the Grand Slams, after all the money, hundreds of millions of dollars he's worth, it still comes down to winning a tennis match. A tennis match like you play every week in Kiryat, that you're there. It's just about the tennis. Can I win?
Yeah, like he definitely does not care about the money. He's got money, and he definitely cares about that 25. And he's gonna have those shirts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll be watching and we'll bring you coverage after the match finishes to wrap up our Australian Open podcast series. But we had the women's final today, Sabalenka versus Rybakina. And what went down, Yoni? Tell us, who won and what was the match?
So basically, it was amazing, a amazing blockbuster, and Rybakina won, and it was 6-4 to Rybakina, 6-4 to Sabalenka, then 6-4 Rybakina, and in the first set, Rybakina was like killing it, like amazing serves, and she definitely just pushed it to her limit, and she got the first set. The second set, I think Sabalenka was talking with her coaches, and she definitely got her head back and just destroyed that court in the second set. And the third set, it was 3 love to Sabalenka in games, and I don't know what happened. She just lost it, and Rybakina won 6-4.
It was an incredible final set. It looked like it was literally the trophy was walking its way to Sabalenka, 3 games to love up. There was no way back for Rybakina. And watching some of the shots that they were playing, by the way, they were playing some heavy baseline shots. Bang, bang, bang. They were playing at a very serious tempo. And again, I said it in the week, Rybakina, she looks, quite slim and slender and might not have the power of a Sabalenka, but boy, was I wrong. She was walloping those balls, giving Sabalenka really a run for her money, and somehow she came back. All mentality. You've been saying it this whole podcast. It's all in the mindset.
Yeah,
And she just turned it round.
yeah, but also it's also nice to finish like a championship point on an ace. Like, it's amazing to finish on an ace.
Yeah, her serve was great throughout the match, and look, she fully deserved it. She turned around that final set. Sabalenka herself said in the post-match conference she was by far the better player today, and they played each other in the Australian Open final in 2023 when Sabalenka won. And this was a rematch, and Rybakina was having none of it. She took home the goods.
And obviously, I thought in the weekend, like yesterday, my gut had Rybakina. I don't know why. And I thought Sabalenka was going to lose it. And my gut was right.
Well, you have to make one right prediction because your predictions have been shocking this whole tournament.
They've been all wrong.
Okay, well, we've got a huge match tomorrow. We're going to really be hoping for a crackerjack, and well done to Rybakina. Sorry to Sabalenka. She'll be back, and I'm no doubt that she'll win some of the other slams this year because she's looking in absolutely great form. And for me, it's been just an incredible 2 weeks, and looking forward to the final day.
Yeah, but do you think Sabalenka's going to get her head back and then, like, win other tournaments? Or is she going to think about that the rest of the year? Because it's a very bad loss.
She's going to work on it. It's going to take time, but it's something that is in the match. It's something you can't control to some extent. You could just have to know that when it's happening and you're in that moment, do I have the skills to be able to train my mind to fight back, to stay in the match and not give up? And that takes a lot of work. And these guys do know what they're doing. And it just shows you, though, it comes down to all those small margins within a game, and the whole thing twists and turns.
So this was day 14 of the Australian Open. It was the women's final today. Can't wait for tomorrow. This is Game Set and
Chat.